Online dating sucks. Yes? No? Yes, thank you. 40 years ago, the world changed dramatically for the worse. You can see everyone started this induced transition into online dating. But online daters are not getting what they want. We see a huge percentage of people that are on dating apps are seeking long-term relationships, but they're having extremely high difficulty actually finding a long-term partner. This system doesn't work. 3% of people swiping actually result in a match in a swipe population, and 0.3% of those results, 0.3% of those swipes actually end up in a date. That says nothing about what the actual quality of that date is or what happens after that. The incentives of these companies are totally not aligned with you as an individual, right? These companies make money if you are single. They make money if you stay on these app platforms and if you continue to pay these subscription fees. This is untenable. There are matchmaking services as well. Now, these matchmaking services actually work pretty well. They're much more likely to be able to find you a match, but unfortunately, they don't tend to scale, and they are very, very expensive. The most premium services, they boast an 80 to 90% success rate on average, which is really, really good. But these services, like I said, are extremely expensive. The most premium ones cost $50,000 or more, but these are the ones with the really high quality outputs. Something has to change here. Our solution is Converge, a premium matchmaking platform at scale that it leverages automation to be able to automate 80% of the matchmaking platform. So this includes things like actually doing the matching, the profile generation, actually facilitating dates, keeping schedules on track, and taking in output, taking in feedback, and actually giving back feedback to the individual people as well. So how do we work? First, when you are onboarding into Converge, an individual human matchmaker will actually interview you, and then will continue to facilitate the process of ingesting you into our platform. Then we introduce you to Val. Val is our AI dating concierge, where Val will get to know you very deeply. You're able to speak with Val to build out a much better profile, a much better repository of information over time that we can then query against our database of reviewed and highly vetted candidates. Val will output a series of very high quality matches specifically for you, with your experience and your characteristics. And then a human in the loop will give the final stamp so that you know that you're actually getting a good date, a human reviewed date at the end of the day. Val will then coordinate all the dates, do follow-ups and feedback as well. So to be clear, we are a premium product where we take the $50,000 price tag on something that has an 80 to 90% success rate. We automate it, so we're able to scale it, bring it down to something that's around $6,000, and we solve this incentive alignment issue as well at the exact same time. For example, in a 6-month engagement, we have a $3,000 upfront service fee and a $3,000 retainer that's in an escrow that is deposited to us upon a successful match, a successful long-term relationship. After 6 months, let's say that you are still in the dating pool, we take a look at the situation. We will kind of assess and analyze what is happening between Val and the actual human matchmaker as well, and see if we can serve you properly, if we are serving you properly, or if you're satisfied or not. And if you are not satisfied, we will return this money in escrow to you. So just to be clear, we are only successful in this situation when you are successful. So we are totally aligned with finding you what you want at the end of the day, a long-term relationship.
So why don't we just walk through an example? Sarah and Jake, two Bay Area singles, both in their early 30s, early 40s. We've got both of them wanting long-term partners and kids. They've used dating apps before to casually hook up, meet people, but never for dating. But they give it a shot. Sarah's immediately overwhelmed. She's getting hundreds of matches, most pretty low quality. The conversations she has are not going anywhere. There's crude comments, and the dates, while okay, are just not lighting that fire. Jake, on the other hand, is having the opposite experience. He really doesn't match with all too many people at all. He ends up getting frustrated, paying for more premium on the app, but gets a couple dates, but it's just not for them. They have looked at other matchmaking services before. but they've been turned up by the price point, even though the actual pitch sounds pretty good. And so there Jake is in deep in Sarah's feed. They just don't meet and they never match. That is until Converge comes into the picture. Now, Converge, after getting onboarded into the platform, I mean, Val is spending hours with these people going into their hopes, their dreams, their desires, what they want in a life partner. And it also handles the logistics. I mean, we're talking the match, the actual date, the appointment, and the feedback afterwards to make sure that things are going in the right direction. Now, after date 3 or after match 3, Sarah finally meets Jake and the sparks are flying. They hit it off, and 90 days later, $6,000 is transferred out of escrow directly into our account. So let's talk about traction, right? Not a lot in such a short time, but more than you might expect. We got 80 responses in under 24 hours. People that are actually 15% willing to pay 10 to 50K for finding their life partner. It's their budget. We also talked with a professional matchmaker of 17 years who's extremely enthusiastic about the product, agreed that dating was broken, and told us that 83% of her clients ultimately were successful. 95 of her inbound leads were from fed-up dating app users. So let's look market opportunity. At the top end, we've got 5.5 million singles earning 100K or more with some spending power. Only half of those want marriage, and assuming a pretty conservative market penetration of 1%, we're looking at 437 million in the first 1 to 2 years. All right, let's talk go-to-market. So we're going to be doing this on a city-by-city basis and make sure that this is a repeatable playbook. We're going to have founding influencers, right? Key, high, famous creators. And we're going to tease it. We're going to build up some hype. Maybe they're working on something new, dissatisfaction with the dating market. The pre-launch phase, Val gets her debut. I mean, she becomes an influencer. Like, we got her on the Whatever podcast. We got her on Huberman. We got her on these influencers. We make hundreds of hours of clips and clippable content of Val being a savage. Like, she is going to be very, very authentic. She's going to tell people what they don't want to hear. And the audience is going to love it because in general, things that are shocking get clicks. This is going to build up our actual dating pool. And when launch phase rolls around, I mean, we're going to start accepting those applications. They're going to be able to speak to Val. They're going to be able to share those conversations with Val, at least the ones they're comfortable sharing. Val is going to make a shareable web page that says 24 reasons why I'm undateable. Things that get shared around and tick viral, right? At the same time, we're also going to be selling to this data pool and the inbound we get from creators. And at the post-launch phase, we're really just trying to keep a flywheel going where other people start making the content and our founding influencers don't have to support the charge. So what's out there? There's actually a lot of high-tier matchmaking services, like we've said, but most of them don't really scale. And if we're really looking, they also do not have the incentives aligned with users. Because they get paid the longer people are on the platform. They get paid more. It's really simple. Of the people that we actually researched, Keeper is the only one that, but at a 50K price point, our 6K is just a lot more affordable. When it comes to the team and crack team, unbelievable team. I mean, when it came to Michael and Rita, both of them are PhDs, Columbia, Berkeley, huge community builders along with myself. They actually hosted remotely an AGI hackathon, AGI House Hackathon with Rocky Yu and Harry Yin. And they did that while they were working with me somehow. I don't know how they did it. They are also behind the Mad Hat AI conference that is going to have such speakers as the head of Perplexity, Writer.com, and the Sora co-leads. As for me, big community leader myself and entrepreneur engineer for the last 10 years. And most recently built a founders community with the co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph. The ask. All right, so we're gonna be over there, not by the printers, but by the elevator. And we're looking for 500K to 8 million posts. Hire some engineers, make sure that we've got the runway that we need for an 18-month experiment. Because ultimately this all rests on our ability to go to market with the viral content. We need to convince people, just like Too Hot to Handle, that our AI is a person that has a personality and can be conversed with, and it's desirous to do so. So that's what we got. And you know where to find us.